Closure following the end of a relationship or the breakdown of a relationship involves honest, healthy, non-judgmental communication that helps with letting go. But this wasn't a normal relationship. Being denied closure when you're breaking up is unhealthy. It's damaging, destructive, and controlling. It's all about power and control. Relationships break down for so many different reasons. It might be to do with work, and it's made it difficult due to hours or distance. Perhaps your feelings have changed. You might still like the person, but you're not in love with them. And at the beginning of a relationship, we get these healthy doses of oxytocin, making us feel loved. And this is what helps us create a bond with another person. So once the initial honeymoon period is over, we settle into a relationship. Maybe we will start to realise that we aren't as compatible as we first thought we were. Healthy people are able to acknowledge that it isn't working and why it isn't working. It might be painful, but closure for both parties is really helpful with moving on. But this relationship is different. The ending of this relationship is very, very painful. They created strong bonds with you during that love bombing stage, that idealisation stage. And when it no longer suits them, they walk away. Their explanation, if you get one, is that what you did wrong in that relationship. The bond is so strong and the withdrawal is so painful that you look for ways at getting the relationship back to where you were at the beginning of the relationship, when you were getting those hits of oxytocin, where it's safe, or where you felt safe, where you felt loved and where you felt valued. On average, a person goes back 7 to 8 times before the final discard. So whether that's they've been discarded or whether they've had enough and they walk away. Now you might go through a cycle of what if and if only, trying to understand where you went wrong and replaying these situations and conversations, scenarios over and over again, wondering if you did something differently, if you said something differently, whether it would have ended or where you would be. And in an attempt to understand, you may still be in contact with them, and you may be trying to get back to that place where you believe you'd both be happy, and offering to do anything and put up with any type of behaviour. And the truth is, the pain of being out of the relationship hurts more than the pain you were suffering when you were in it. You have a gaping hole in your soul that nothing will fill. You need answers to gain closure, and sadly you won't get them from them. There'll be a few reasons for this. So one is, firstly, they are the victim. So your behaviour has caused the breakup of the relationship. So, and they are getting attention from their friends and family, from work colleagues, from the person sitting next to them on the train or the bus. Why would they give that up? They're not going to do that. Another reason is that you're actually supplying them with attention. So when you're trying to either get back to the place you were at the beginning of the relationship or to find out what's going on, you're actually giving them attention, and they don't care whether it's negative or whether it's positive attention. It is attention. That's all they care about. So all the time you are in pain and you're confused, you're asking questions, the focus is still on them. Another reason that you won't get closure from them is because they have no empathy. So they can't put themselves in your shoes. They can't even attempt to understand that the pain that you're in and the pain that it's causing you. They do get hurt, but they react with rage. And also enjoying that they caused you pain. It proves to themselves how powerful they are and how much control they had over you and still have over you. Giving you closure will not serve them in any way. They would be giving up the attention they claim that they don't want from you, and they would also be handing back the power and control of your life. They would have to acknowledge that somehow they were to blame, and they can't do that. Their damaged inner child wouldn't be able to handle it. When you do try to reason with them and highlight that some of their behaviour, they might ask you why you're saying such awful things to them. And it works really well for them when you are going a little bit crazy, because they can then show other people exactly how your behaviour was the reason that you're no longer in the relationship. This was a gift, and I know you can't see at the moment as you cry through that pain, but it really was a beautiful gift, and when you're ready you'll start to discover why. The first step is understanding what happens and the confusion and the crazy making. It has your mind and your body and your soul in a frenzy. You don't really know what you did wrong. You don't know what to believe, what not to believe, and then you find this term narcissist, and you think they're a narcissist, they're a sociopath, they're a psychopath, and it all starts to make sense now. I want you to realise that we're all on this spectrum. It's just that some people are further up the scale than others. And secondly, your ex-partner is not going to take responsibility for the role they played in the relationship. They're certainly not going to go and get a diagnosis. So it's all about accepting what's happened and understanding the role you played in this. It's time to move away from being the victim and stepping into reclaiming your power. So you've been through hell, and you might even still be there. But once you discover what's been going on, it's now time to start reprogramming yourself. You may still find yourself protecting them, protecting the abuser, and that's really, really common. And during the love bombing stage, they put themselves in the place of being your carer, and they took over your life. You bonded with them, and they put themselves into a place of power. They made sure that you disconnected from your friends and your family, and so now you might be feeling very, very lonely. Mentally, you may need to calm your mind. You may have experienced gaslighting, which is a really covert way of distorting another person's perception of reality, and it makes you feel and think that you're actually going crazy because you've believed their version of events. So gaslighting is really dangerous, and it creates feelings of insecurity, of confusion and brain fog. Physically, your body might be going through a lot of stress, but there is a gift, and the gift is the healing of the wound. And this might not just be from this ex-partner, it might go all the way back to childhood. It might be the wound of abandonment, shame or guilt, but this gift they have highlighted is the gift of being able to reclaim and heal your inner child, or even a few of them. And firstly, you need to start calming the body down, so disconnecting on every level. One thing you might find helpful is to write out your story, warts and all, and keep in the forefront of your mind all the areas of behaviour that was wrong. And as you're writing it out, you might find yourself justifying it. Don't put everything down as it happened, so you can refer back to it as a way of breaking and seeing this pattern of abuse that was going on. So all the times you forgave them for hurting you, put them down, but see it from a different perspective. All the times you knew you should have walked away and that you didn't. You have been tricked into believing your behaviour was the reason the relationship failed. And so I want you to write out the story. You need to realise that this was another lie. And I promise you, if you take responsibility for the healing of the wound or wounds, by dedicating this time, you're going to feel really amazing. And your relationships are going to change. It is a gift. It's the gift of self-love. It's the gift of realising where this has been happening in other relationships in your life. You may not see that at the moment. It's really raw, it hurts, and you believe this is all your fault. I promise you, the gift of time that you're going to be giving yourself is going to pay back 100 times, 1,000,000 times, 1,000,000,000,000, trillion times. It's not going to feel like it at the moment, but you are going to get closure. The closure you're going to get is you being able to move on and knowing that you're going to have a more fulfilling relationship. And there's still going to be the hollow shell that goes around destroying other people. I'm sending you lots and lots and lots of love.